You didn't want your daughter to grow up without a dad, right? Because you grew up without a dad. You had that void in your life.
Right.
And that void had to be a lonely void.
Right.
But you also were very young and you've experienced a lot of traumatic experiences growing up. So like that's what I'm getting from your relationship.
Right.
You know, and you just wanted somebody to take care of. And usually when we're taking care of people, the more mistakes they make, the more we gotta fix. Because we are people who want to fix people. Because no one was there to save us. So you're home, and you're very strong with respect. I noticed that. You're big on a man being a man.
Yeah.
But yet you kind of go after someone that you could turn into a man's man, or what is it?
I feel like you definitely hit it on the head. Like, I became what I needed when I was younger. And they say that you strive to succeed where your parents failed. So that's why I've always been overachieving as far as a parent. Because I'm a super dope mom. I take my kids on like 3 vacations every year. I do all the things. I became an entrepreneur
because
so that my children have me to pick them up from school, to cook dinner, to do everything a mom's supposed to do. Because I didn't feel like they should be robbed of that just because I didn't have a husband. And I had already said, ever since my daughter's father, I had already accepted being single, a single mom, because I didn't trust men. I didn't want to bring nobody around my daughter. Okay. So I had to pull both roles. I had to be the provider as well as the Martha Stewart at home and on school trips and all this stuff. So it led me to, and plus having a felony. Okay, so now I did the 2 to 6. I did 16 months. I came home after 2 years. I ended up in Florida after 2 years. They dropped my parole early because I was a good girl. Then
you got caught up with the wrong guy.
Right, you know, even though I was selling drugs before him, but I was always a decent person, you know. Always had a regular job, and I knew how to work very well. My work ethic is crazy. Anybody could tell you. Anybody that works with me knows. So I end up doing under Paula White Ministries in Florida. I get ordained.
So you got into the ministry.
Yeah, I got ordained by Paula White Ministries in Florida to do prison ministry. And I was going in and out of prisons.
You wasn't scared going back into...
No, it was the first time I entered a prison, it was a surreal moment. I'm not going to lie, because I was like, wow, I'm now walking in as a free person. I could walk back out when I want, you know, versus when I was in there, it was very hard for me to get out. And I will say I lost one program. I went to KSAT or ASAT or something, and I got into a fight with a dyke, and I went to lock. So I lost my program. Then I had to do outside clearance and obtain hours to try to make my parole board so that I can come home early. It's very hard to get out of prison once you get in prison. I'm not even going to lie and act gangsta, because I told you before, I thought I was a gangsta, but I wasn't. I woke up in prison. I cried every night in prison because I wanted my daughter. I missed my daughter. I had left my daughter.
Did you develop any relationships, like a woman-on-woman relationship?
I did. I had one. The girl I got into the fight with was the dyke. Yeah. We were fucking with each other. So I was gay for the stay. That's what they call it. So I did have a girl.
Well, I mean, you had orgies, so you already kind of were having fun.
Yeah, she was just in her feelings. Jealous. Yeah, dyke stuff, you know. No offense to dykes that are watching, but they're very controlling. They're worse than men sometimes. Really? And it got a little crazy. Yeah, and then she had another girl in the yard and all kind of crazy drama. And I was like, this life is not for me, so let me remove myself. And that was it. That was the experience. But I lost my program.
So now you like, I don't want no parts of this.
Right. I don't want no parts of this. So she flipped on me, took the lamp from the desk, and smashed it on my face. My thing was eggplant big. I went to lock with a big black eye. Jesus. Lost my program. And then I came out. Anyway, so I get ordained by Florida to do prison ministry. I'm praying in prisons over men and women across the state prisons in Florida. Pretty much preparing them for what they're going to face when they come home. Just like the little things, like we can't live in areas that are remember I told you before I had apartments in the dopest areas, you would never bring drugs there. So,
And so
now
environment.
I had to now accept either apartments in the hood because I have a felony and nobody's going to rent to me because my apartment got raided and they found a semi-automatic and 7 ounces of compressor. So I couldn't live in the hood. Yeah, I understand why they didn't want to rent to me. I wasn't mad at them. I get it. You think Griselda's Blanco's gonna turn your house up, so I get it. But, it's not fair to do that to people because now you're putting them in the hood. And it's like, that's the only place that will rent to you. So I prepared people for what they were going to face. And another thing that I will tell any convicted felons is they can only use your crime against you in lanes, in specific lanes. That's why I built my own lane. I became an entrepreneur because I took that away from them. You're not going to hold it against me because now I control my income. I did prison ministry with Polaroid for a little while. I came back to New York. I started Bar TV, which is my television talk show.
Okay, and where can we see Bar TV?
You can see Bar TV. I have all the episodes archived on my YouTube. We're gonna put the
link for Bar TV in this episode, so you guys will be able to go and click the link to Bar TV.
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, they're archived there, but they air through Brooklyn and Manhattan on Brooklyn Free Access Channel Network and Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as well as Deja Vu TV, which is an app available in the Android and Apple stores. It's also on Backstage Radio Network. They play my audio. And any platforms that are looking for good content, clean content, brilliant content, dope guests. I own all my content. I'm the producer, the director, the host, the scheduler, everything. I am the one that does everything. The only thing I don't do is hold the camera. Shout out to Big Vesh, my camera guy and editor. And he does my camera work and my editing, but I do everything else.
Do you have a man in your life right now?
No.
Who could say, hey, I'm gonna produce this for you, I'm gonna do this with you, I wanna own this with you?
No.
What changed?
I learned that I don't need the man to do it. I'm just going to do it by myself. I never needed the man, but I wanted the man because I wanted to share what I did. I didn't want to be alone. But now I learned to, what changed? I learned the beauty in solitude. I learned the peace in being alone. A lot of people confuse peace with boredom. And it's like, because if you're around a lot of toxicity and a lot of turmoil, when you find yourself in a peaceful setting, you think that you're bored, but the reality is that you just don't have all that chaos going on no more. Okay. So I've learned to appreciate the peace in being alone. I love being alone. I will say that I am a happy single person.
You're happy and single.
Yes, and my children consume my life. I know I have 2 daughters, one turning 11, one turning 18, and they take my time. So, for me, I don't have the time to dedicate into a relationship anymore.
So you were in another relationship with your second daughter's father?
Nope, we were friends.
So, okay.
No, we were friends. We crossed the line, we had sex, and I came out pregnant. That wasn't even a relationship, yeah.
But once in a while, y'all was fucking.
Yeah, we was fucking around. It wasn't even a relationship, but we had a solid friendship. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, I knew that my purpose was to create a better future from my mother's legacy coming from the womb of a heroin addict. So I had to have 2 beautiful daughters, which I do have, and I am raising them well. They are set babies. They be on set with me all the time. My daughter produces a segment of her own, and then my other daughter is just a little genius and brilliant of her own. So, I've successfully pushed into the future. I did my job. And
you're doing your job.
I'm doing my job. I did my job. I'm also so 4 seasons into Bar TV. I just have my son. Make sure you guys check out my son, the General. Rest in peace to his mother. He just lost his mother in the process of editing.
Sorry. Condolences.
Yes, definitely my condolences.
Dope activist.
Dope. My son's. It was like. It lifted my hairs watching the edits. Yeah. And I will say that I'm walking in my purpose. I live a purpose-filled life. Everything happens for a reason. I know that I was kind of a sacrifice so that I can share my story with other people that feel like dying all the time. Maybe
Okay.
out of 5% of the things that I've survived.
Okay.
And for me, I'd be looking at it like, it's not that serious. It's going to be all right. You're going to be good, you know?
I mean,
And I
yeah.
want people to know that. So this is why now I'm opening up and sharing my story.
Letting
4
people-
seasons after Bar TV, they didn't know who I was or where I came from or what I had been through.
Okay.
It was very therapeutic, like I was talking off air with your friend. For me, as soon as I started on 93.5 FM as a on-air radio personality, which, by the way, I was homeless at the time that I became a radio personality. And it was, everybody loved me. They loved how I talked. They loved how I delivered. And 4 seasons in, like I said, we're here. I've had great people like the Martin Luther King family on my show. I've
Okay.
had Praz from the Fugees.
Okay, Praz is a
I've
big
had
guy.
a senator from Brooklyn. I've had, for me, I pride myself on treating, because I've done every role that I think that I could. I was talking to your friend offline too. I have so many lanes that I fit into. I pride myself on treating the doorman with the same respect as the CEO.
Okay.
And so you'll see a little bit of everything on my show, whether it's, some celebrity that has high clout and high fame,
Okay.
or some up and coming,
Artists,
entrepreneur. Yeah. So, a jack of all trades, and I can't even summarize the things that I do, but I love my stories, so look forward to more.
My question for you, at the exact state that you're in today, what would the perfect relationship look like for you today? If a man came into your life today, what would he have to be? What would he have to do? How would you want him to look? What everything about him to fit into your life from all of the things that you've been through?
Well, I am really so simple and humble. It's crazy.
It's okay.
I think honesty, no, not that I think. I know honesty, transparency is very important for me. I don't really care, and like I proved with Paul when I gave him a brick and $28,000.
Yes.
I don't care what a man has to offer financially, because I know that what I bring to the table is so valuable that whatever he can do or can't do, I'm going to help him learn how to do, teach him, or I'm going to add value to if he does have his own, whatever he has, you know. But honesty is the best policy for me. I think Nick Cannon recently, not too long ago, has said, his take on owning people or not owning people in, relationships and stuff like that. And I feel that same way too. I don't feel like, I feel like I've been through so many different evolutions that I would not want to be treated like they own me. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't want that.
You don't want.
I can't play that role where it's like, okay, baby, you pay the bills and you go out and handle the business, and I'm going to be here at the end of the night. I don't care what you do.
You don't want that.
I don't want that. Like, I want honesty. Say, listen, this is what you want. Is this what you want? Okay, if it's what we both want, we're going to go for it. Let's be honest, we're too old for lies.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as appearance wise, again, I'm big on compromising. Like,
Okay.
I look past things. I don't have a type. I have make me laugh. Let's
You're
make
right.
some money. Let's do some. It takes more than sex for me. Sex is not
Okay,
going to be
yeah.
it. I can't be stigmatized. I've never been stigmatized, because for me, sex is always going to be good.
Really?
Sex is always going to be good, because I am a professional fucking having sex person. Like, I know how to have sex professionally. For sport, I've played with all kind of different roles and relationships, so I know how to satisfy my man. It's always going to be good. I don't care if he has a big dick, little dick, fat, skinny, whatever it is, I'm going to work it, and he's going to be satisfied. But what else do you bring to the table besides dick? Because I bring more than pussy, and that's how I see it. So, and I also feel that way. It's like, guys can have sex with any woman they want in the world. So what else are you going to give him besides a nut rag?
Well, hold on a second. Let's bring that back for a second. I would categorize you as a woman that a man want to grow with. This is what I really get from you.
Yeah,
What
but you'd be surprised. People really don't.
And this is where I'm going with this,
Right.
right? You are definitely a woman a man could grow with.
Hey.
What would you say? You are definitely a woman a man could grow with, right? What would you say to a man or to an audience that's listening that he's just having a hard time trusting women? He's having a hard time finding a good woman. He's looking for the right woman in all the wrong places, and he can't find you. Like, he's looking for someone who's been through experience. He's a very forgiving man. He's not judging you by your past. He's looking for somebody to be transparent. He's looking for somebody to be honest. He's looking for somebody that could say, hey, you know what? I've been through this. You've been through what? We're here now. Can we be together? And he doesn't have to worry about it. Now, that man, do you know what most women call him?
Wow.
A simp.
Oh, yeah.
They call him soft.
I know.
They call him weak.
Poor Sim.
Because he...
I know. I'm a simp too. Don't feel bad, simp. You know that it's okay. I'm a simp. Listen, I am a sucker for love. I love love stories and love movies and everything. Dirty Dancing, all those old school. Like, I would love a love romantic story like that.
Okay.
And for that simp, I will tell the same thing that I tell myself every day. Like, let go. Don't put too much pressure on the relationship. Don't put too much pressure on titles or nothing. Like, let go and trust the timing of life and take chances. Sometimes we're gonna have to go through some rotten apples before we find a good one, you know. But if you believe in love and you believe in God, I'm heavy on God, and I believe everything happens for a reason. Stay prayed up, and nobody's perfect.
Right? Mm-hmm. Men put pressure on relationships.
They do.
Like, when a man likes you,
he wants to know 100% you're all in.
Yeah, and he starts putting like a lot of like, hey,
you're not calling me back. You're
what's
not
up?
texting me back.
And he's not doing it on purpose, because let me tell you something. It could be a dude who's that dude. He could get 1,000 girls. He won't call back. He don't text back. He don't check for them. Nothing, because he don't really care.
I know.
But when he find that one that he wants,
you want to make sure he's not wasting his time.
A dude could have 1,000 women that he could get, that's hitting them up, everything. Mm-hmm. But then he has you, he ends up finding, and he likes you, and he wants you. And women
instantly want me to lock into him.
The advice that you gave to the guys was, don't add pressure to the relationship. Mm-hmm. I actually think that's a good way of saying that.
Listen, they call me mellow. Take it very mellow. When they taught little girls, oh, the boys that tease you in school are the ones that like you. That's a toxic.
It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's not.
Is there truth to that, though?
It's not truth. Well, it is truth to that, but they're intimidated by them.
And they're trying to get your attention.
Right.
And they don't know.
So, you know, my advice to men is like, yeah, just chill, relax. Like, it's okay. Everything is in due time, you know. Reason,
take your time with it.
All that, you know, everything comes to light. You know, I think within the first 90 days, people know if they have chemistry.
90 days?
Well, the first day, you know that there's attraction. But for me to put you in a category as someone that has a potential to grow with and build with and be with, it's a lot.
It is.
You know?
It's a whole mission, too.
And I understand when the guy, because I understand as a woman, too, if this is the guy that I'm feeling and I really want to build with him.
Mm-hmm. When you find one.
When I find one.
In a pile.
In a pile of the diamond in the rough, and I pick that one and I say, this is going to be the one that's going to make me happy, and I'm going to make him happy, and we're going to build together, and it's going to be great. And that's another thing. I can't be with someone that I'm not building with.
I agree.
We got to have more than sex together.
Yeah, you got to be able to build something, and you got to be able to learn something from each other, and there has to be a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. When you find that, you understand? It's like, look, I hate to use this example, but this is the best that I could come up with.
You get anxiety, probably.
It's like, when you find that, like, let's say it's real estate in Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you end up finding something at like 30, 40% off, 50% off. You're not really playing it cool, because you know you got a deal.
You're invested.
You got something good. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, I think men and women because it's so difficult to find somebody decent, sometimes get out of character when they find someone.
Right.
And they lose themselves a little bit.
And it's hard to control your emotions.
And your emotions kind of,
excitement.
and then you lose, you can't control your excitement, you can't control your emotion. And the thing about that, I think, which makes it more crazy, is that you're violating all the cool laws.
Right, because you lose your sense of individuality in the same time.
At that right
too.
then and there.
Right, that's why I always say take a step back, take a chill. It's not that serious. Relax.
Catch yourself.
Catch yourself.
Because when you lose that, I think what happens.
You can push people away like that too.
You always push people away like that.
Yeah.
But it's not even your fault because you don't really.
Because you just want it so bad, you know.
And I think that men and women, but mostly guys, were raised to be so tough and strong. You raised not to play no games.
Right.
You know, so you up here coming up with no games. So when you end up finding someone who bypasses all those, I guess, barricades and touch an emotion, it throws you like, yo, what the fuck? Right?
For me, I've had situations where, okay, I'm dating this guy. I might be fucking with him or something. And I think that he's a red flag for me because I like him too much.
You feel it.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, wait a second. I like him too much. And I'm going to either decide I'm cutting him off because he doesn't have the potential to be what I know I want and need. Or I'm going to let myself just fuck around with him and just keep myself with no feelings attached. And it's never going to... Friend zone, call him when I want to.
But the first one, to me, on some real shit, the first one is what a queen does. Because she knows she has to protect her kingdom or her queendom, whatever it is,
and
right? And she can't afford to fuck her whole shit up over her emotions. Right. Because you fell for him.
I like this guy too much.
But he ain't it. It's about when you are in certain positions in life and you are elevating and you coming up and you growing, you have to get a grip on your emotions.
Yes, you have to.
And if you don't, you're going to lose a lot. That's why I'm a big believer in falling in love young. Because we have nothing to lose. You
can bump your head.
Yo, we both 16. I'm living with my mother. You're living with your mother. We're sneaking out to the park. We're going crazy and doing all. But what are we risking? I mean, we could lose our education if we don't finish school. We could do. But it's not nothing. Really you're not risking a lot. But I think that when you come into that position as an entrepreneur, as a queen, as somebody who's growing, you got to get a grip.
Yes, you can.
You got to get a grip. But it's hard to get a grip because women out here are very, very, very smart. And they know how to target your emotions. And men are very smart. They know how to go after your emotion.
Right, after a certain age.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if it's an age thing.
I think so. Because like you said, the young ones, they could play around and they have all that time to waste, but I don't know. I think once you reach your mid-30s,
I don't know if it's an age thing though. I think it's more like, look, you can't run from who you are.
Right.
It's better to accept who you are.
But some people don't even know who they are.
Ever.
Yeah.
For the rest of their life.
That's the problem.
But let's say a man's dating you, right? And he knows you like your doors being open.
Right.
That man ain't never opened a door for a woman a day in his life.
But he's opening it.
But he's opening it for
like
you.
It. Right.
You understand? So he's tapping in
Those
into...
little things would win me over.
That's what I'm saying. So he knows how to tap in.
You don't usually do because you know that I like
Well,
it.
He's tapping into your emotion.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's no real basis if he's a good dude. So again, it goes back to that. Do you feel that people need to think it through when it comes to relationships?
Definitely.
But how do you think it through when that emotion is so heavy? It's like a drug. Love is a drug.
I don't know. For me, I guess because of the things I went through in my childhood, I can separate the love from the lust, because some people get confused with lust also.
Okay. It feels good though.
It feels good. Great.
Feels great.
Great.
It feels really good.
We're not gonna go there
look,
today.
We're not gonna say that lust don't feel good. I know we look down on lust, but shit, lust.
But love, although it's an emotion, I do think that maybe the way that we can overcome the failure is if we focus on. Sometimes people start to feel these love emotions and they stop thinking with their brain.
They do all the time.
Using their common sense.
Yeah,
and
all the time.
You know, let's not live in la la land. Let's not paint fantasies. Let's not paint illusions that are not there. Like, really, I would say break down your partner and see, is this person really going to be able to live up to the potential or live up to the standards that I have set for myself? And never lower your standards, because that's another thing that I feel that was compromising too much.
A lot of compromising.
Although that compromising is important in relationships, I feel like if you find yourself compromising off the door,
then it's an issue.
It's an issue, you know?
You know, one of the measures that I think people should use, my opinion, one of the measures I think people should use, if you're dating somebody for more than 3 months, I'm going to give 3 months because it's a fair, like you just said, 90 days.
I said 90 days, yeah.
You should find out if you guys could accomplish a task together.
Right, can we, yeah.
Like, it could be the simplest of tasks, right? You could say, hey, you know what? I went to the store and I bought something at IKEA. Let's put it together.
Right.
And I think that tells you a lot about a person.
Another thing I would suggest is the type of music a person listens to.
Really? Talk to me about that.
I had like a epic failure of an almost bride situation. They call me the runaway bride because the guy had proposed to me and gave me an engagement ring and everything, and I thought I was going to marry him. But he comes and gets into my car and puts on nothing against strippers, but the song was I'm in love with a stripper. You know, I don't care what you do at whatever, as long as
that's a good song, though.
It's a good song and everything. But at the time, my kid was in the car, so for me,
behavior,
I didn't agree with listening to that song with a child in the car, because I don't want to influence that kind of. I have a problem with my child being a stripper. I don't want my child being a stripper. I don't want her to think it's okay to be a stripper. I was never a stripper, and I shared this recently on another interview I did. I don't knock strippers, but because at 8 years old, I was molested and held captive. We'll talk about that. I was not confident enough in my body to use my body to sell my body
as a stripper.
As a stripper, period. I protected my body, and I became more like, so
that must have built a lot of insecurity.
You know? So for that, I changed the station. He got into the car. He put that on. I changed the station. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that right now. He's like, oh, why not? It's just a song. And I'm like, but there's a child in the car. I don't think that the child should be exposed to those lyrics right now. Boom. So at that point,
he put it back on.
So at that point,
I put it back on.
I said, well, this isn't going to work out here, clearly. We can't even agree on the same music. You know, there's certain red flags that you have to learn from the beginning. This person is not going to be that. And okay, let's say I meet a guy right now at 43, right? I've already been through prison, selling drugs, all that. 43. Let's say I meet a guy in the hood that's selling ounces of bricks, and I know that I can help him turn his life around to where he don't
to be a better man.
To be a better man, don't have to live illegally and turn his hustle into legal hustles and build him up and everything else.
Give him real game.
If I do that, is he still going to be that loyal? Like who was it that said oh damn, I'm always quoting rappers because I love hip hop. But I'm gonna come back to it. But like, can I still trust you to be loyal and to be the man that I need you to be if I build you up to be everything that you could be?
But what I'm saying to you is that why do you want to build a man?
I know, but I'm just saying like.
But why don't you want? Because look, you already
because it's like the ones that are built up already are honestly either taken already, or they're just not good. And because another thing is, let's talk about monogamy versus not, right?
Yeah.
There's some people who are not born
Most
and
people are
can't
not.
be in a relationship committed to one
90%,
person.
90 is exaggerated. I don't have a real percentage, YouTube.
They can't be with
I don't
just
have a
one
real
person.
percentage. I'm just saying that.
Like, they have a
I
wife at
don't
home.
think-
They build that life
I
at
don't think
home.
monogamy is like a natural thing, and
No.
people struggle with it.
Right. A
A lot of people
do.
struggle with monogamy.
Yes, more
You
so
know?
now than before. And honestly, it's just because of honesty. Like, they're being more honest about who they are, and they're
People are
learning who they are
becoming
now-
more
now
honest,
right?
you know, and
And it's accepted more to have open relationships, to have multiple.
are you a
wives.
monogamous person, you think, or not? Honestly,
I am an
real.
honest monogamous person. I have.
But you want to dip off every now and then.
No, if I have one person that is good to me, I'm happy with just.
You don't
coming
never
home
wanna
every
dip?
day, that same person, and I don't even want to dip.
What if he's like,
I've
yo,
had so much sex in my life. I don't care. I don't want to have sex with nobody else. I want the one person that I can come home to every day and we can just explore sex together. And
if he wants to
enjoy
bring
it.
another girl?
If he wants to bring another girl, fine. Can I bring another man?
No.
Okay, so we're not bringing another girl.
Are you
Like,
for real? No, you
yeah.
can't bring no dude
like,
in the
I'm
bed.
gonna bring a man. You bring in a girl. That's just what I
Nah.
want. Like, equality. Can we be equal?
How is that
Like,
equal?
No, don't ask me for a woman if you
That's
don't want
petty.
me to ask you for
That's
a
not
man.
equal. That's petty.
That's not.
petty.
It's not. Because you haven't been the woman that's been with two men that are all obsessing all over her.
No, but what I'm saying to you
Yeah.
is this, right? If you got a guy, right, and you the one that brings it up to him, like you come up to him, you like, hey, baby, I love our sex. It's great, but I want to bring another guy so both of y'all could be and be on me. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, oh, okay, fuck it. That's your fantasy. I'm going to do that for you.
Right.
He's not going to say, oh, you want to bring another guy? Let me bring another
Okay,
girl.
I'm not saying it like that. Let
Do you
me
understand?
retract that.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I'm not saying it
So
like that.
what I'm saying
if
to you-
your fantasy is women, multiple women, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah,
I've been with multiple women.
I understand, but what I'm
I'm
trying
not gonna say, oh, you can only get another woman if I have another man.
But you're kind of
I
saying
know,
that.
I know,
You're kind
I
of
was
saying
joking,
that,
though.
right? And I always find that to be funny because look, if a guy's in a situation where the woman's coming up to you and telling you that she wants to be with two dudes, that's her thing, right?
Right.
So you have to understand that's real. But for me, on the flip side, this is just my own personal thoughts. I always feel if a woman says, well, if you're going to have another girl, I want to bring another guy, she always wanted to be with another guy.
No,
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
You think the guy always wanted to be with another girl?
He's the one that's bringing it up.
So that he always wanted to be
He always wanted that.
multiple women.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Because he brought it up.
Right.
Because
Okay,
why
I
would you
get
bring it up if you didn't? So it's not
Yeah.
his first thought. Because I would imagine, this is just my
Another
opinion.
thing I've thought about, and I never did it, but swinger clubs. It's like, partner swapping. Julia Fox was talking about it.
Yeah, I saw
recently.
that. She was talking
And-
about that, right?
yeah,
And she was
and
saying
it's
like she
like-
wants to smut somebody, sit on their face,
On their
and
faces,
do all this other
dominate
stuff.
tricks and stuff like that.
And that's a suppression a lot of times for women,
Mm-hmm.
right? Women have these like dirty ass fantasies that they want to do. And I think a lot of women don't do those fantasies because I don't think they can find a safe place to do it where they're
They
not
don't
going to
wanna
be
be
judged,
judged.
where they're not
You're
going to
right.
be, they're not going to be dehumanized. They're not going to be.
You're right.
And I'm a very big person on, you can't take something out of somebody's mind or brain that they feel.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to a lot of people on 8 at the Table, we meet so many great people and have really great conversations, which is probably one of the best parts of doing 8 at the Table. You talk to so many great
Mm-hmm. I
people.
know, I love talking.
And in those conversations, you see these people and they're like, nah, I'm into that shit. I'm like, for real?
All kind of
Yeah, I'm
different
into
shit,
that
right?
shit. Oh, I want to do it this way. I want to
Right.
do that this way. And I'm like, oh, let's talk about, nah, I don't want this. I don't want that. But I'm
me,
like, that's in your spirit.
Right. For me, like, I don't crave to have multiple men. In my younger years, I've had it. I've had 2 men lusting all over me at the same time.
you like that?
And it was fun. It was fun. I've had orgies. It was
Okay.
fun swapping partners. I did that. But now, as a older woman, I'll say that if I am with a man who is open and says, "Listen, I'm really not big on monogamy, but I do want to have this foundation with us, and I want to have the freedom to, indulge here and there, whether it's with or without you. I think that
Without you?
with or without you should come with communication. I feel like you should really be able to understand what does it for him and what doesn't do it for him, and then accept that. And if you accept that, you have to accept that. You can't be arguing or fighting if you accept that. Like,
Question for you. Question for you. Right, and I want to, and I think this is my last question, but interesting.
Okay.
I actually love the way this is going. This is like going right into 8 After Dark,
Okay.
right? And
After dark.
After dark.
This is a few glasses in.
Right, we start with 8 at the table, then we go to 8 After Dark.
We're in the dark now.
My question for you is
Lit
this.
here.
My question for you is this. What do you say to a woman or a man, both, that are live, because you've been through real shit in your life,
Right.
and you know what it's like to be in prison and not be able to leave.
Right.
Like you could say, I'm leaving.
Right.
You can't leave.
Right. I don't have the keys.
There's nowhere to go.
Right.
What do you say to someone who's living in a sexual prison? Like they're living.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst
They're
thing
in
ever.
a relationship for years. The sex is terrible, if they're getting any. And then when they get it, they don't enjoy it. Like, what do you do if you're in a sexual prison? Should you sneak if you're with somebody who can't communicate? Because a lot of people, you remember when you're a kid and you're trying to talk to your parents about something, and like they don't want to hear it.
Right.
Because they don't want to deal with whatever a child is saying. And it's a terrible thing because you're not communicating, right? And the kid is trying to tell you something. You're like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear none of that. And you get real aggressive, right? And you're like, I mean, my parents were kind of total opposite. They gave me a lot of freedom. So, but what I'm saying is like, your partner don't want to communicate. And you're trying to say.
Well, I have been on the other side of a lot of those relationships where the man comes to me and he's unhappy. He's married. They have property, they have business, they have children, they have a successful life, and he's just unhappy, unsatisfied sexually. So he ends up, I end up being a mistress. I have played the mistress role. I have played the other woman role without drama, no success. Like, women want to get mad at the other woman, but if you're not fulfilling something that another person has to fulfill, that's just what it is, and you don't know your man enough.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of men and women need to take the time to really get to know their partner enough and see what it is that does it for them and doesn't do it. Because if you're with a man, and I'm sorry, how explicit can we go? But
all the way. We're going to go all the way.
If I'm with a man, his dick better be hard on sight. As soon as I walk in the door, I know his dick is hard because he's so into me that he wants me that bad that his dick is hard. But if you got to sit, and don't get me wrong, I love oral sex and everything else. But if your dick isn't hard until I'm sucking it forever to try to get you hard, then that means you're not into me. Something I'm doing is not right.
Or he might have some issues.
Or he got issues going on. So there's always signs to look into to get to know your person and
but then you got guys, you got dudes, they get hard. They just love pussy.
They just love pussy. Those are the best kind of dudes.
They just love pussy.
Give me the nice
they see a piece of pussy, they're ready to go.
Right, but then there's some that they have things going on in their mind that you need to cater to. Then you're not catering to, whether
emotional
it's
stuff, or excitement,
or things that are happening at home. Nobody wants to hear the constant complaints. I'm sorry, and maybe I've been single too long to say that, but you're complaining about everything the man's not doing, but you don't even see what he is doing, Yeah. And I will say that maybe I'm on the guy's side with that, and less on the woman's side, because women will hold on to a lot of things and will drag things over and over. And this is one other thing that I will give to both men and women is, if you decide to accept something, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. If I decide to accept you and I know that you travel the world and you have like 20 different companies and, you know, I know every state or country you go to, there's going to be a bad bitch all over you.
Big facts.
And, you know, I have to accept that and be okay and peaceful. And when you contact me, I'm going to be your peace. And I'm going to be okay with that. I accepted that. You know what you signed up for. Accept what you signed up for. Don't throw it at people.
No, but society makes it a little bit tougher. Because listen to this, right? I did this research. This is real facts, right? Like the word Mrs., Miss, and all of those words come from the term mistress.
Right.
So years ago, and I think even here, early 1900s, men having a mistress was so normal.
It was normal.
It was normal.
Because
having a mistress was like...
Did you see recently on the news, there was a milkman that fathered like 800 kids?
I heard about that. He used to beat them housewives down.
Why? Because the woman's husband was away overseas working, and the woman was there and has sexual needs. We're sexual creatures. We have needs. So
that's
either
what I'm saying.
The man is going to be out with other women, or the woman's going to be out with other men. It's not necessarily always. But
that's what I was saying to you. Do you consider yourself naturally monogamous? Mm-hmm. If you were that housewife and the milkman was coming in and you found him handsome and he kept you company.
I can't be the housewife because I'm the provider. I'm a provider.
So you don't want a man to provide for you.
I believe that women who play that role where they're going to be the housewife and let the man be the provider, I believe they should let their man have their way.
Really?
Yeah. If you're going to sit here and just, you know, be a homemaker and your man's going to be out there risking his life for freedom or whatever he's doing to come home and have you, you know, dripped in Louis, Fendi, Gucci product, whatever it is, let him have his way. Let him get his dick sucked while he's out there and you're not around.
But what if he falls in love with somebody while he's out?
You know what? That's a risk that you take because you're not out there with him.
That's dope. That's me. That's dope.
So
you cannot be with a man who could provide for you only, and he'd be like, I'm gonna provide everything you want.
I can be with a man that wants to provide, but I'm also gonna provide some way, somehow. Okay. I'm gonna be doing a whole lot. I can't just sit back. I've never been the woman to sit back and say, I'm gonna turn my cheek this way because my man's paying all the bills and I don't gotta worry about nothing. No, because that's why I think I've always been the provider because I didn't want to accept that.
It's a control thing. Mm-hmm. You need a form of control.
No, I'm not going to accept you going out, doing all of this stuff unless you're going to, you know, we're going to come to meet halfway at the table equally and we're going to, and you know.
So if I go out and I come home at 8 in the morning on a Monday, on Wednesday, you want to go out and come home at 8 in the morning?
No, not necessarily, because maybe you came home at 8 in the morning and you came with someone that I enjoyed, you know, whatever. Or maybe I knew beforehand what was going to go on. I don't know. It depends.
It depends on communication.
Yeah, communication.
It depends on communication.
Honesty for me. Don't lie to me. If this is what it is and this is the kind of man you are, I'm going to accept that. But I know about it.
But you know what? We do have some audience members that I speak to who are very monogamous. Mm-hmm. Like these guys, they're very monogamous, and I have great conversations with them.
There's
like,
women and men that are
into my wife, my woman, and that's all I want. And that's dope.
That.
That's dope. All right.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna end it right now on this note. I'm going to let you finish. Melony, like, how do you want to close this out?
Well, it's been real, guys. 8 at the table, one-on-one. Shout out to Naisha.
Shout out to Naisha.
Yes. Shout out to everybody here on set. You guys been great. Follow me at Ms. Melony, MZ.MELONY, at Bar TV Show, BARTV.show. bartvshow.com, and yeah, stay tuned. I'm brilliant and resilient.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for subscribing. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, and the only way we got that is with you guys. Thanks to the community. Thanks for looking out for us. You know, like I gotta say one thing about the audience. Every time, like, if there's something wrong with the post, if there's something wrong with anything, someone communicates with us and we fix it right away. We're growing the channel. We're growing our audience. We want to say thank you so much. Thank you for Melony Feliciano. Melony is no joke. She's changed her life. You know, she went from moving them things to calming down, and now she's single, ready to mingle.
Content creation, content is life.
And definitely check out her channel, check out her interviews, check out everything that she's doing.
I'm very single. I do want love. I do want monogamy, but I think that I'm in the middle. Like I can be
You're
with.
open.
I'm open. I am open. I am the most
Open.
open-minded person you could ever meet. I want monogamy. I'm open to monogamy, but I'm also open to all the other different demographics that there are in life because everybody's different. It's like fingerprints.
Cool. Tap in. Thank you.